So that was pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah.
You're pretty badass.
Thank you. I love what I do.
That's awesome. So I have so many questions, as I always do when I interview people. I feel like I learned so much. So you showed us technique, you showed us some of the equipment, and all of that is amazing. I want to get past some of that. One of my first questions is, in the beginning we were talking about how there were not a lot of female swordsmen. Is that what do you call it?
I don't know what we call ourselves. Armored combatants.
Armored combatant.
Yeah.
There were not many females in it, and there still really probably aren't.
No, actually there is.
Okay, so it's growing.
It grew,
okay.
Substantially. I mean, the ratio of female to male is, less, but I mean, literally we went from like 30-something in the U.S. to well over 500. I don't know what we're at now. Last time I checked, it was well over 500,
wow.
But we're well beyond that.
So. As a female in this industry, in this trade craft, what is something that maybe people assume or get wrong about females being in this trade craft?
A lot of people will think, oh, your boyfriend or your husband does this too, so that's how you got into it. And that is, I mean, yes, that is the case for some, but that's not the case for all.
Yeah.
Many just, maybe they came to watch it with a friend. Maybe they heard of it and then they found a club in their local area. And there are people from all walks of life. We've got mothers. We've got grandmothers.
Wow.
We've got doctors, lawyers, artists, near homeless. That's a little bit of a joke, but whenever you, when you don't have a lot of money, but this is your passion, everything you work toward, you're going to put into this sport. Yeah. So there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, finances. Yeah. So there's all walks of life on both the male and the female side.
Yeah.
So,
how much does it cost for someone to do this? Like, would you say maybe in a year?
Sadly, I've never put a pen to paper because I'm scared of that number.
Yeah,
but I will say, so if you're part of a club, you're going to have some sort of dues or fees monthly. And then you're going to have your armor that you purchase. That's going to be in the thousands, 3, 4, 5,000, up to 10,000 or more. Then the travel. So you're going to have local travel that you do. And so you got to think of, Airbnbs, hotels, gas, airplane. Sometimes people crash at each other's houses, that's a thing. And then the international travel, registration fees, there's, and it's nominal. There's also the yearly fees for being in the sport. So like IMCF, you're going to pay, AMCF. AMCF is the American side of the IMCF. And so International Medieval Combat Federation and the American Medieval Combat Federation. And then for Booher International, I believe it's MCUSA Medieval Combat USA. And so you'll pay a yearly due of like $75. Yeah. And so that part's not really expensive.
It's just all the
travel. Yeah. And then, there's the behind the scenes things, So some people, they do this for an enjoyable hobby. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they live their life, and it's something that they can do on the weekends. Some people get very involved in the competition side. And so then we're looking at supplements. We're looking at, their gym. Are they getting a personal trainer? Are they getting a side coach, So maybe you have the person you're training with in armored combat and your coach is in armored combat, but then you may have a boxing coach, a Muay Thai coach, or, a life coach. Or,
This is really a big part of
Mhm.
somebody's life then to be a
It
part of this
can be.
trade craft. It's
Yes.
really involved.
Yes. Mhm.
So that's a lot. The culture of sword, medieval armor,
Mhm.
the whole culture of it, like it's a tight knit family, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. The flat answer is yes. Yes. We have a very, very strong culture. I mean, we go and we fight, and then afterwards we're going to go have drinks and food and party, gathering, socialization. We really do love each other. There has been drama, but I don't know of any space, honestly,
Yeah.
that there isn't drama.
Right.
And I always tell people, look, keep your head down, train, and then go do your competitions, enjoy each other's company, and to hell with the rest.
Yeah.
So if there's drama, go the other way. Don't
Right.
get involved in it. So what's cool though is whenever there is drama, I'm thinking about one team in particular. There was some drama going on, and they fixed it. Okay, they worked hard, and they recognized they had a meeting, and it was private. It wasn't blasted on social media.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
they are working towards fixing it, and that's what's important, because in a family, if you're husband, wife, kids, brothers, sisters, you're always going to have some sort of drama in family.
Yeah.
And most of the time you're going to try to fix that because you love each other. And that's what's really cool about our sport, is we do this niche little sport that's not common.
Yeah.
And so we have that one thing in common, that we all love this sport. It is worth fixing if it's fixable. Unless someone's abusive, they need to see their way out, because there's no room in here for abusive, mean people.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I see the insignia on your, what do you call the?
Oh, this is a
garment
tabard.
A what?
A tabard.
Tabard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It goes over your armor.
Okay.
And so generally, like, these are all tabards. This is one of our Texas tabard. And then this is Canada. I don't recall where that's from. They're going to kick me for not knowing. And this is a team called Dominus, and these were all men's teams.
Okay.
But the Mythics have a really amazing tabard of like maroon and gold with the phoenix, and Dallas Dragoons now have a tabard with the horse with the swords, which is really cool. My tabard, so this tabard right here is my personal tabard. Okay, so my insignia is an insignia that once again, it came to me literally in a dream back in 2020, beginning of 2020. And I dreamed of a huge hand coming out of light with a long sword, and then I saw stars around it, 7 stars in particular.
Okay.
That was my dream. And when I woke up, I hurry up and drew it down. Yeah. I drew it, and then I said, "That's going on my tabard." What
does it mean to you?
It's God. It's God's hand. It's God's protection. And the sword is the words of His words. Mm-hmm. And so His words cut through anything. It's just like, it just means God to me.
Yeah. And what about the 7 stars?
So the 7 stars in Revelation, it talks about 7 stars. I am still studying that. I am no expert. But I know that it represents the different. Yeah, I know it represents the different nations, et cetera, et cetera. But what it meant in my dream, I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But I decided that, and for some reason, I've always liked the number 7.
Yeah.
I've always had an affinity toward the number 7, so I've just kind of kept it consistent in my life.
It does represent completion.
Yeah, it does,
which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you could put a long sword in a young girl's hand today, what would you hope that she would experience and walk away with after that encounter?
To always remember who she is and not change for anyone, to be true to herself, and to not settle. Like, go forth and achieve whatever she dreams. And if she fails, that's okay. It's not failing. It is moving forward. It's like, okay, I did this. You know what? But that led me to this. Oh, and then that led me to this. So that is part of the journey.
Absolutely.
So it's not failure. It is part of the journey. And I would hope that she would stay strong and true to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your physical challenges that
Mhm.
you've had
Oh, yeah.
in the last year,
Mhm.
you were already participating and practicing in the trade craft.
Mhm.
And then you had this medical challenge
Mhm.
come up. What do you think was your biggest challenge out of that? And what do you think was the biggest lesson that you learned from it?
So the biggest challenge was not being able to work out like I was used to.
Okay.
I had to modify things, and my doctor didn't want me to get hit in the head. He was like, is that going to cause an issue? And so we wanted to put that out of the scenario. And, oh, yeah, don't be doing heavy weights because is that going to put pressure on the inner ear? And so I was at my peak, and I was having to give up all of that.
Yeah.
And I did the things that I could. And but yeah, that was my biggest challenge. And then what I learned from it, perseverance. I mean, I've always persevered. I will say that. I was in an abusive relationship many, many moons ago. But I've always been a person that has grit, and I persevere. This oddly broke me a little bit. And then when it broke me, I came out of it, and I look back on it, and I'm like, okay, well, I can check that box now. And I mean, I'm not totally out of it, but I'm way better than I was. And if I had to live like this the rest of my life, I'll take it. I just don't want to go back to what was happening. And so a lot of strength, and I grew much closer to God. I had kind of had him on the back burner. I'm embarrassed to admit. And I reoriented myself. And if this had to happen to me again, for me to have that closeness to God that I have now, I would do it all over again.
You may have just answered my next question. I was going to ask you, do you think you needed to be broken?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It got my attention.
Yeah. I know for me, when I sustained a severe back injury, I had, for most of my life, been very fit, been very active. Used to be a personal trainer, all these things. There were a couple times in my life where my health declined, and then I had to overcome that. But I overcame it. And for me, embarrassingly enough, when I would see other people with physical challenges, medical challenges or whatever, my mindset was always kind of suck it up. Come on, get over it. Suck it up, move forward.
Yep.
And didn't have a whole lot of grace and mercy for people who were experiencing physical or medical challenges. When I sustained that severe back injury, I mean, I was bedridden, wheelchair, cane. I couldn't do anything for myself. I could hardly bathe myself. There were times I couldn't wipe myself. I couldn't feed myself at times. I couldn't go up and down stairs, all the things. And man, that was humiliating. That was one of those times when we were talking about earlier where I was broken.
Yeah.
And where I was ready to just throw in the towel and be done.
Yeah.
That experience for me opened the door to gain better insight and learn how to have and extend grace and mercy to others who were in challenging situations. And before, I was just kind of tough on people, you know. But after that experience, when I see somebody in a back brace or walking with a cane, like I'm just like, I feel for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what their situation is, but I remember what it was for me. And I remember how humiliated I felt. I remember how ashamed I felt that I couldn't do things for myself. And I didn't want to be a burden. and all of these things. And I just remembered hating having to ask people for help with
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so it just really changed my mindset on how I viewed other people in situations like that.
Yeah.
Did you experience anything like in that regard, like to where you were, it just helped transition or change your view and perspective on interacting with other people?
Yes. I know that the way I felt, it felt like my identity was being stripped from me.
Yeah.
And then whenever I would see other people, I'm like, what was their identity before that? Did their identity get stripped from them, and did they not get to take it back?
Yeah.
You know, and it made me like, I would get up every morning and I would just sit in my bathroom and I would force myself to find, whenever I was in the thick of it, I would force myself to find something to be grateful for. Yeah. Oh, I'm grateful that I have this dirty floor. At least I have a floor.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
I mean, I was finding
completely relate.
Yes. You know, I was finding anything to be grateful for, and I would say it out loud, and I would journal it. I would, you know, make sure that I was really paying attention to what I truly have.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not just talking about material. I was like, you know, looking at my husband, I was like, man, you know, he's so good to, you know, he's been right there. He advocated for me. Mm-hmm. You know, he made sure he went to the doctor office. He was asking the questions that I wasn't thinking to ask. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it made me have a more appreciation for him that maybe I hadn't had in the prior year. You know,
that's so good that you had someone in your life like that. That's really great.
I was very grateful.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and I remember those moments where the moment when I was ready to throw in the towel, I mean, I was so close. I was so ready. And I just had this kind of spiritual encounter, this personal, it just clicked. And it was like, no, we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
And I remember in that moment forcing myself to sit up, get out of bed. And I was determined I was going to take 3 steps by myself. 3 steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most painful 3 steps of my life.
I bet.
Like just excruciating pain. Uh-huh. And it took everything I had. But I was determined. Mm-hmm. And I did it. And I got back in the bed. And I waited for the next, and I just started setting goals.
Yeah.
And it was just very small goals in the beginning.
Exactly.
But I was determined to reach that. And for me personally, this was a journey that I really had to take on my own. Mm-hmm. And I just think about what you were talking about earlier when you started the Sovereign Blade flows. Mm-hmm. And you said you had to be broken.
Yeah.
And you were by yourself when you were doing those things.
Yeah.
The show is called Sacred Earth Journey, and it's all about cultural stewardship and, and about promoting healthy community. How can people show up for someone in the community when they experience moments like this where you kind of have to be broken and experience something alone, but then you also need the strength of community? Like,
sometimes it's as simple as someone calling you and saying, hey, how you doing? If you need someone, I can just sit there in silence next to you. You know, sometimes it's just knowing someone's there. Yeah. Or, hey, I don't know what to tell you right now because I know this is rough, and I know you probably don't want to hear it'll be all right, but I honestly don't know how to handle this, but I want to be there for you. Just know that I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
You know, just simple things like that. Because, it was dark for me. So I would want some, I want to be there for someone in the regards that didn't happen with me.
Yeah.
You know.
100%. And as you were going through that immediately and thinking of the dumbest things people say when you lose a loved one. You know,
yes,
it's like, just stop. Just don't say anything.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Just hug me or not. Just be, just stop talking.
My thing is if I've always told people, if you're hurting and you're at your wit's end, I don't care if it's 3 a.m, call me and I'll go get you some ice cream and I will sit next to you in total silence while you eat your ice cream. If that's all, because
absolutely,
a lot of times there are no words to say. but just having the human presence is all that matters.
So much, just to know that
Yeah.
you're not
Alone.
And I think for
Exactly.
me, like, that was probably one of the hardest points for me when I was going through that back injury. Was I don't think I'd ever felt so alone and isolated in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know that I had a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I felt so, honestly, in that season, betrayed and just
Yes.
abandoned in so many ways. And it was like, but I feel like at the same time, it was meant to be that I go through that.
Yeah.
Because so much was refined in those moments in me personally.
Yeah.
You know, I think of Job. I think of the story of Job in the Bible.
Yeah.
And how his friends showed up at first.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yes.
Like, don't be that friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then finally they got it, you know, and just sat.
Yeah.
And we're just present.
Mm-hmm.
And man, sometimes there are times in our lives when maybe some of us experience just abandonment and isolation, and community is extremely important.
It really is. It really is.
It seems like this community, this culture, especially because it's so rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems like this culture has a lot of communal strength, and like it seems like that is highly protected.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it is.
That's good.
Yeah. My teammates, they've been great. I think it was really important for me to know that I was still a part of everything when I was asked to coach the dueling class.
And this was when you were still kind of
I
at
was
your
in
worst,
the mix.
recovery.
Yeah. And Cyrus is one of our main guys here on the team, and you know, all these guys, they're brothers to me, you know. But when he asked me to teach that, it made me feel like, okay, I still have use, and I know that there was more of me than that. But it was just like, at the moment, I was like, oh, wow, at least I can do this, you know. And it made me feel so good in the moment to know that I still had value. So I don't know if he knows how much that meant to me.
Wow.
But
Cyrus,
yeah,
pay attention. Did you hear that?
yeah. So that was really helpful.
You know, what this brings to mind for me as moms.
Mm-hmm.
We pour our lives into carrying, protecting, keeping alive, raising, training our children. And then all of a sudden one day they're grown up and they're like doing their thing. And it's like, well, okay, I just spent 30 plus years, if we have multiple kids, what is my value now? Like, what is my use now?
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing.
Uh-huh.
And what I've noticed in my international travels, spending time immersed in cultures around the world, the moms hold such a place of profound, beautiful honor and value. Yeah. And when the children grow up and they're adults and the things, the tables kind of turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the children are not just gone and there's this void. It turns around now to where the adult children, there's so much value and importance placed on the mom.
Yeah.
And they're really valuing taking care of and providing for. Like, it's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah.
And knowing our ages, like, did you experience this kind of era of void after your children were grown? Like,
yeah. Actually, I still have one at home.
Okay.
And he's going to be a senior this year.
Nice.
But I did, you know, and even though like he's still at home, he's very much self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Like he's really cool. But yeah, I did feel that, and I even commented to my husband just the other day. As a matter of fact, I said, I almost wish that actually I do wish they were toddlers again.
Yeah.
I said, everything seems so hectic now. And back then I thought, oh, let me just get them through, because I homeschooled them.
Same.
And I was like, let me just get them through their homeschool and then everything will be lovely. And no, it's not. It's like now I'm working harder than I did when I homeschooled them. Those were the days where you could go to the park and enjoy things. Now it's like I got to go from one client to the next client, to this job, to the next job, to practice, whatever I'm doing, that time. But no, I get it.
Those days were so precious.
They were.
Oh my
They
gosh. Yeah, and you're right. There was just this sense of freedom to it. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
So I have thoroughly enjoyed
my
so
have
time
I.
with you.
Yes.
This has been so good.
Thank you.
I definitely want to get to one of the matches and get some of that on camera.
Absolutely. I will let you know as soon as we have a date for the Martin House Brewery here locally.
Yeah, and maybe talk to some of your other teammates.
Oh, they would love that. They would love that.
Is there any last words of motivation or any thoughts you want to share?
Yes. In your life, you've got to have grit, because you're not making it out of here without grit.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of something that we've started at Sacred Earth Journey.
I have not, no.
But whenever we have guests on, sometimes guests will say something profound that's kind of just a one-liner. And with the guest's permission, obviously, those phrases will end up going on some merchandise.
Oh, cool.
And a portion of the proceeds of that will go to the nonprofit or organization of their choice.
Oh, I love that.
And it sounds like you've got to have grit, or you got to have grit. Might need to go on some merchandise.
It does.
And perhaps a percentage of that can go for your organization for the travels and things that you guys do.
Oh, we would love that. Yeah.
So,
oh gosh, I would love to do something for the women in the domestic violence community.
Okay.
For
that
sure.
That would be great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a good outlet for women who are coming out of abuse?
Yes. Okay. So it's funny. I used people who knew my past with my abusive relationship asked me if I had gotten into this to get rid of some of that. The answer was no. Believe it or not, I got into this because I thoroughly love this. And I had always been involved in martial arts before I even met this person.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's done a lot for me in giving me the confidence that he tried to take away. And I've seen other women in this sport that have come from domestic violence and they've excelled in this sport.
Absolutely.
So.
And I completely relate to that. Coming out of some abusive situations as well. It's you're right. You feel so victimized and so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you really need to get that confidence back. You need to feel like you can protect yourself, not even just physically, but in all the ways.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So cool. All right. Yeah. Well, Julie, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time and going through all the trouble to do this today. I know it's your passion, but
it is my passion.
So guys, thank you so much for joining this episode where we travel the world unfiltered, where strangers become tribe and global peace begins at kitchen tables. And we'll see you next time.